My fun, I'm sorry, all right? Take your briefcase back, all right? I don't want any problems. Just take it.
At Backlash 2025, amid the electrifying atmosphere of high-stakes matches and roaring crowds, WWE Chief Content Officer Triple H stunned everyone with a jaw-dropping announcement that would shake the wrestling world to its core. What began as a routine press conference quickly turned into a historic moment as Triple H broke years of silence to address the long-avoided topic: Jon Moxley's departure from WWE. Known outside WWE as one of the most dynamic and rebellious stars in wrestling, Moxley's exit had been shrouded in mystery and speculation until now. With raw honesty and unexpected candor, Triple H revealed the truth behind Moxley's departure, admitting WWE's failures and opening the door to a potential future reunion. The WWE Universe was left reeling, caught between shock and excitement, as the man steering WWE's creative vision declared a new era, one where the past mistakes are confronted and evolution reigns supreme. This press conference wasn't just news, it was a seismic shift. The calm. Before the storm, a press conference. Like no other backstage at Backlash 2025, the atmosphere was thick with excitement and exhaustion in equal measure. The arena had just witnessed an unforgettable night of high-octane matches and electrifying moments, the kind that set wrestling fans' hearts racing and memories burning bright. Yet, as the cameras prepared to roll for the customary post-event press conference, a quiet tension settled over the room, a stark contrast to the roaring crowd outside. Typically, these press gatherings follow a familiar script: polished statements, corporate compliments, and rehearsed teases for upcoming events. But this night was different. The usual buzz of excitement that accompanies the stars' triumphant appearances was replaced by an almost eerie stillness. Journalists clutched their pens tightly, recorders and smartphones hovered in anticipation, and influencers readied their streams, eager to capture every word. Backstage crew hovered discreetly, sensing something unusual in the air. Into this charged silence stepped Triple H, WWE's Chief Content Officer, and the man entrusted with steering the creative ship of the world's largest wrestling company. The name that stopped the room. For a moment, the entire room held its breath. Jon Moxley. The name echoed with a mix of reverence and tension, a figure who had become both legend and enigma since leaving WWE in 2019. Known within WWE as Dean Ambrose, Moxley had forged a towering legacy outside the company, earning praise for his raw intensity and fearless approach. Yet within WWE's walls, his departure had long been a taboo subject, too sensitive, too painful, too complicated to confront openly. But Triple H was different this night. There was no hesitation, no corporate deflection. What followed was not a press release or spin, but a candid, emotional confession from the company's highest creative authority. For a long time, Triple H began slowly, his voice heavy but steady. There's been a lot of speculation about why Jon left. Some said it was about money, others blamed burnout. Some thought he just wanted a new chapter in his career. The system that failed. A star Triple H peeled back the curtain on a deeper truth, describing the complex and painful reasons behind Moxley's exit. It wasn't a sudden fallout or a single confrontation. It was a slow-burning frustration, a creative suffocation born from a system unwilling or unable to listen to one of its most fiery talents. "We handed him scripts when he wanted freedom," Triple H said, voice tinged with remorse. "We gave him 3 lines when he had 3 pages of fire in his soul. We gave him props when all he wanted was a microphone and a raw crowd to speak to. And worst of all, we ignored him when he told us who he really was. He painted a vivid picture of the WWE environment at the time, a factory of safety and control where creativity was confined by rigid formulas and sanitized for mass appeal. The edgy, dangerous spirit that had once defined wrestling was dulled, replaced by a polished product that left little room for true expression or risk. Dreams and rejections. The Dark Shield reunion. The confession grew even more intense as Triple H revealed the incredible and ultimately rejected creative ideas Moxley had brought to the table, concepts so groundbreaking and dark they might have forever changed WWE's storytelling. Among these was a twisted reimagining of the Shield reunion, an idea that could have shattered conventions and rewritten the playbook for faction narratives in wrestling. But fear held WWE back. "We were scared to change," Triple H admitted, his voice stripped bare of any corporate shield. "It wasn't because the ideas were bad. They were bold, brilliant even, but we were scared." This wasn't just about one superstar's frustration or departure. It was a reflection of WWE itself, a colossal, global institution, wrestling's greatest entertainment machine, shackled by its own history and unwilling to evolve. Jon Moxley had glimpsed the future, raw, dangerous, and unapologetically real. But WWE wasn't ready to follow. A new era. The door is cracked open. Then came a moment that set the room ablaze, a line that sent shockwaves through social media and wrestling fandom alike. "If Jon Moxley walked into my office tomorrow," Triple H said slowly, with deliberate emphasis, "I would hand him the keys." The room erupted. Was this an invitation? A promise? Both? Triple H said no more, but the implication was clear and profound. For years, fans debated if the rift between Moxley and WWE was permanent, if bridges had burned beyond repair. Now, the man charged with WWE's creative future was signaling a radical shift. Not only was a return possible, it was welcome. Triple H wasn't just defending Moxley's past choices, he was honoring them. He acknowledged Moxley's vision, his restless hunger for evolution, and his refusal to be boxed in by outdated rules and systems. He wasn't a disgruntled talent, Triple H concluded with quiet conviction. He was a prophet in a place that wasn't ready to hear his message. He outgrew us. He didn't run from WWE. He walked away from a version of WWE that had stopped listening. The winds of change. WWE's creative revolution. The press conference wasn't just a routine corporate event. It was a raw, unscripted moment of profound honesty that reverberated far beyond the walls of the WWE headquarters. There were no polished sound bites, no carefully crafted PR lines designed to soothe or deflect. Instead, Triple H spoke from the gut, with a candor that pierced through the usual veneer of scripted entertainment. His words landed like thunder, unfiltered, visceral, and deeply human. Around the globe, the response was instantaneous and electric. Social media platforms erupted as fans from every corner of the world grappled with what they had just witnessed. Longtime supporters of Jon Moxley, the man who once roared into WWE as Dean Ambrose before forging his path outside the company, rallied behind the heartfelt truth Triple H had shared. They celebrated the acknowledgement of Moxley's vision and struggles, the recognition of his creative fire that WWE once failed to nurture. Wrestling's future, chaos, realism, and truth. Speculation ran wild. What might WWE look like if Moxley returned? Could the gritty, chaotic energy he embodied reignite a spark long dimmed? Wrestling fans wondered if his return could restore the raw, boundary-pushing style that had drawn so many into the world of sports entertainment in the first place. For years, WWE had wrestled with balancing spectacle and safety, storylines and realness, corporate polish and genuine emotion. Moxley's vision was different, darker, more unpredictable, infused with a realism that blurred the lines between fiction and reality. Could his presence usher in a new era where wrestling felt dangerous again? Where every strike mattered, every promo cut deep, and every storyline bled with authenticity? For now, the answer lay shrouded in mystery, locked behind the doors of creative decisions yet to be made. But one truth was undeniable. The conversation had changed. A new chapter. Unfolding Jon Moxley's story with WWE isn't over. It has been rewritten, not as a tale of bitterness or lost potential, but as a powerful narrative of evolution and redemption. The lines between the past and future have blurred, and the horizon looks charged with possibility. Fans and insiders alike are left with one tantalizing thought. The future of WWE could be radically different, fueled by a creative revolution, sparked by a man who refused to be silenced. Whether Moxley steps back into the spotlight or continues to blaze his path elsewhere, his impact on the company's DNA is undeniable. Backlash 2025 wasn't just a show. It was a declaration that WWE is ready to face its shadows, embrace its wild side, and evolve into something more authentic and electrifying than ever before. The winds of change are blowing, and with Jon Moxley at the center of this new creative storm, the wrestling world waits with bated breath for what comes next.